Kimmy, Maurice gave you the answer that he wanted to give you. He gave you his true answer, okay? Whether you're in denial or not, that's on you. Trisha, like, you still weird? Still. What's up, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We're here to talk Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 10, Episode 1, NDAs and DNA. If you guys are brand new to the channel or a returning viewer from last season or another show that is not yet subscribed, y'all do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 45,000 subs, so if you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. I don't have to tell y'all to leave comments because y'all like to bump the gums when it comes to Huntsville, all right? So we start off with Nell and Fletcher. Why they are the centerpiece of this episode, I don't know. But we start off with Nell and Fletcher. So they're in the kitchen, and they're basically just recapping and kind of talking about the things that we're going to see leading into this season. So they're starting off by saying, who is wrong? Martell versus Marceau. They both were wrong. Both of them. Any way you shake it, they both were wrong. Martell started it last season. Martell started it, but they both were wrong. So we then see all the different things that happen on social media where there's interviews and Instagram lives and posts and all that type of mess that they kept up with. Y'all know I don't keep up with all the mess outside of Love and Marriage Huntsville, outside of the hour that comes on Saturday nights, because that's a full-time job, and I got one of those already, okay? We then see them talking about Marquez and Trisha and about how they are still married. Okay, duh. Why Ken wants to be with this woman that don't want him, whatever. We then finally talk about the fact that Lance had a baby on Destiny. Did we really think that Lance and Destiny were really a couple? Like, for real? So we see that the show has a new intro. I didn't like it. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I didn't like the intro. I mean, good job. Good try. E for effort. I didn't like it. Yeah, it ends with them at the end. So, typically Melody does a whole little shebang or something with her dress. So at the end, they all just threw up confetti. I said, oh, it was stiff. It was awkward. I guess if y'all like it, I love it. Sure. So we then pan over. Before we even do that, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Melody's not on the show, okay? I'm not a Melody fan, nor do I dislike her. These are people on a TV show. I just give commentary that I am paid to do about these people, okay? I don't hate them. I don't love them. I watch the show. So I will say this, with Melody being gone, she needs to be. She didn't like anybody and nobody likes her. So Melody really did not need to be on the show if they were not going to bring in like one of her actual friends. So cool, we wish her the best. But I am interested to see how the show is going to go this season without people defaulting to her. Melody never did this for me. Melody doesn't do that. Melody didn't speak. Melody didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like last season, in the season before especially, a lot of things revolved around Mel. That was everybody's default. We don't have to talk about our business. We don't have to talk about our marriages and our family life and our whatever. We can default to Melody hasn't spoken to me since the reunion. So now that we got that out the way, let's see what's really gonna pop off the season. Let's really get into some of y'all business for real, okay? This episode went off without a hitch with Mel being gone. Cool, all right? So we start off with Trisha and Marceau. So they are at their house, not Scott Manor, not this new house, back at this old house that they keep saying is not the real house, but the fake house that they're living in the temporary fake house. Y'all know that house, okay? So Tisha is showing her daughter how to use the cheese grater, talking about be careful because you will F up your knuckles. Tisha, I need you to jump into 2025. We all got the rotary joints now, okay? Or those of us with KitchenAids, we have the attachment. But If you want to teach the babies how to grade old school the way we had to grade as kids, by all means, go for it. So we see their son, MJ, he's talking about college and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, it is so crazy how we really watch kids grow up on TV. And I feel like kids on TV grow up twice as fast as kids in like our real life that we see. Marceau comes in and he said that him and Tisha are the longest standing Scott marriage at almost 19 years. That's a full decade. I said, oh, last I checked, and maybe it's just me, but last I checked, a decade was 10 years. But hey, you know what I mean? So then we get a knock at the door, and it's pensive and it's interesting and it's, oh my God, who is that? And everyone is over to the side. Who's at the door? Who is it? Oh my God, who is that? And Miss Wanda comes in, and I said, oh, I know some of y'all think that Miss Wanda is entertaining and she's great and she's gonna stick it to Marceau. I don't. Do I think that Miss Wanda is like this as a person in her everyday today life? I don't. I think Miss Wanda is putting on for the show, and that's what makes me not enjoy her. And yes, we've seen Miss Wanda do lives, and she's still the same caricature of a black woman that she portrays herself to be. But do I think that just on a Tuesday when Miss Wanda wakes up, she's behaving like this? I don't. I think Miss Wanda is putting on for the show, and Miss Wanda knows that she is somehow a fan favorite, and she's going to play it up. I just don't think her antics are entertaining. That's just me. If y'all do, I'm cool with that too, okay? So Miss Wanda comes over, and only Tisha and the oldest daughter, Macy, is that her name? If that's wrong, y'all forgive me. I think it was Macy was excited to see her. Everybody else was like, oh, grandma's here. Great. So Miss Wanda says she wants to know if there is any truth to what Martell is saying about that girl. Remember, Martell and Ariane had a podcast where they came out with that YouTube and they interviewed the woman that is supposedly, allegedly, that they claim to be Marceau's mistress, okay? Or his ex-mistress, whatever the case. So Marceau moves because he don't want to sit next to Miss Wanda. He said because he wants to keep his enemies in front of him. I said, child. So Wanda said that she thinks that Marceau is lying, and she feels that Marceau's apathetic answer, his refusal to just say whether or not Martell is lying or not, is louder than anything else. I will say this. One, I'm tired of all these rumors coming out about Marceau and there being literally no proof. Right? There is no proof outside of like that big round back that was supposedly Marceau's. If we are not going to have any proof, like, is this going to be the storyline? Because at this point, it's honestly giving to me that this is something that Marceau and Tisha and Miss Wanda cook up so that they can use this as a storyline instead of the real shit that's going on in their lives and in their marriages. But I also think it's so distasteful the way that Marceau wants to live in ambiguity. I cannot talk. Ambiguity. Like, I don't like that he does that. You know what I mean? This whole, am I, would I? Like, that type of shit is lame. It just is. It's disrespectful to Tisha, who clearly doesn't respect herself because she's letting you sit and play in her face. So Tisha is then like, me and Marceau, we have our own way of communicating, and Marceau has proven to me that he is my protector, and he is my this, my that, my everything. Girl, again, if you like it, Tisha, I love it. And we all know what that means. We then pan over to Scott 2.0, Maurice and Kimmy. So they are talking to Maurice Jr. about college. I am not going to call that young man monster. I don't know why they are still in 2025 calling a black teenage boy, a brown skin one at that, in Alabama monster. Maurice Jr. they're talking to him about college. So Maurice is like, did you see anything about my DUI? And Junior was like, I mean, yeah, I heard some stuff. I didn't look it up, but I had some friends tell me some things. So this is when Kimmy is like, yeah, because you got to make good choices and this, that, and the other. So I'm thinking that Maurice is going to lean into like, yeah, I made a bad choice. I messed up. I had a couple drinks. I got behind the wheel of a car, and that's where that went. But no, Maurice takes a different road. Maurice Luther King takes a different road. And it's like, so were your friends cracking jokes? Yeah, I mean, they had some jokes, yeah. Did they make jokes when the case was dismissed? And Junior was like, no. And Maurice is like, see, that's what I'm talking about. People are loud when it comes to this, but quiet when things are true. And it's like, Maurice. Wasn't that DUI dismissed because of a technicality? It wasn't dismissed because of innocence. You know that. But okay, if you want to roll with it, roll with it. You hired yourself a bomb-ass lawyer that was able to find out that the arresting officers did or did not do something that they were supposed to, so you got out and you got off on the technicality. Now, instead of you using this as an opportunity to take some accountability, because nigga, let's be real, you did drink and you got your ass behind the wheel of a car. That's facts, okay? Allegedly. So instead of you using this as an opportunity to educate your son, you play it to the left, I guess. So after Junior leaves the room, Kimmy is talking to Maurice, saying that, she was out with Tisha, and Tisha was saying that Fletcher was insinuating that Maurice and Marceau have their side chicks sign NDAs, and that's how you get around that. That's how you keep shit quiet. If Marceau does have side chicks, he has an ironclad NDA with these heifers, because nobody ever comes forward. Literally nobody, okay? So Maurice said that he doesn't know anything about that. So Kimmy said, so you out here having side chicks sign NDAs? Maurice said, I ain't had no one sign an NDA. Now, I'm a huge proponent for words mean things, right? Kimmy asks about side chicks. Maurice said no one. Maurice didn't say I don't have a side chick, right? So Kimmy said that's the wrong answer. And Maurice is like, how? And he's laughing because he's about to play in Kimmy's face like he typically does. So then Kimmy is like, the answer should be, I ain't got no side chick. Maurice said, well, that should be implied. Is it? So we see Destiny. Destiny is back for season 10 and she now has a new job. Destiny has been licensed in real estate for the past 19 years. It's never come up the past X amount of seasons she's been on. We've never heard about it. But hey, we're on a show where half the people on here are building shit and selling shit, but it never crossed Destiny's mind to bring up that she has a license. Destiny. Destiny. Okay, so Destiny is trying to get back into being a real estate agent, I guess, while having her e-commerce for Madani. So Martell shows up. He finally gets the candles that he bought from her last season. She's just now delivering them, I guess. And Martell said that he is trying to put Ariane through nursing school. So now that Melody is off the show, we can say Ariane's name and we can post pictures of Ariane. I said, child, is Mel still an executive producer? She probably said a bag is a bag, I guess. So Martell then said that if Ariane keeps playing her cards right, then she'll get that ring. That is such a disgusting thing to say. I never like when men say that, play my cards right. Nigga, Martell, you are not a prize. Martell, you are not the prize. And let's be real, you are settling for Ariane because you couldn't keep your wife. You are settling for Ariane because nobody's going to want you, Mr. Two Baby Mamas, in a divorce because you cheated on the first baby mama with second baby mama. Nobody wants you, Martell. Hell, you couldn't even keep Sheree. Sheree gets played by niggas that are in jail and fresh out. You couldn't even keep Sheree. Oh my God. So Martell is saying how he regrets calling Ariane a peasant and says she's a good girl and he's lucky to have her by his side. So Destiny has not talked to Lance, but she did find out that he had a new baby 10 minutes after he texted her Happy Thanksgiving, which she thought was interesting because They haven't talked. I said, Destiny. Here's the thing. I thought Destiny and Lance were just like messing around, sleeping with each other. Were they like together? I guess. Because wasn't Lance like halfway through a divorce, but not for real? Like, wasn't he still like kind of attached to somebody? I guess. So Martell is saying how he is so happy that he has not been on social media. And Destiny is like, nigga, yes, you have. You've been on social media. You did the whole video about the Scots. So we get into this ignorant ass conversation between Martell and Destiny, where Martell is saying that he did what he had to do because his back was against the wall and he's tired of people playing on his top. And if y'all are gonna keep fucking with him, he's gonna fuck back with you, okay? He said, you go high, I'm gonna go straight to hell. So Destiny said that the road to vengeance does not lead you anywhere. Martell said it makes him feel good. Okay. Destiny then reminds Martell, remember all the times that you were affected by the things that were going on social media and people coming at you and how the kids were affected by this. Like, I want you to get back to being the boss that you once were. He can't get back to that because he don't have a builder's license. Destiny. Martell is at the mercy of everybody else. That is not a boss. That's not a boss. We then see Ken and Marquez meet up, and I said, oh, y'all done made Marquez a full-time person, I guess. So they meet up at a gym. It's very dramatic. It's dark. It's sullen. It's spooky. Ooh, I said, y'all are doing too much. Ken realizes how much of a simp he looked at the reunion, so he wanted to meet up with Marquez so they can communicate about what they need to do moving forward with the kids. Marquez said, look, it touched his spirit that Ken reached out. His spirit is now open. I said, look. So Ken said, look, if I beat your ass, it doesn't do me any good. If you beat my ass, it don't do you any good. We got too much to lose. Ken said that, look, I can never take your place with the kids. And I'm like, Ken, do you know that? Because it's given that you, like, I don't know if Ken cannot have kids or what's tea, but like, you going through way too much trouble for a woman that mumbles and don't want to marry you. Like, I don't understand this. Is Trisha the only available woman in Huntsville? Like, what is, like, does he see a project in her? This is weird. So Ken said he wants to be on the same page as Marquez when it comes to the kids, and that he wants Marquez to be involved. You can be involved in what we got going on, okay? Or if you just want to come pick up your kids, you can. He don't need your permission to come get his kids, Ken. Marquez does not need your permission to come get his kids. The way that he said that, I was like, what? But okay. So Kendon said, well, Tricia does not trust you. Marquez was like, that's because she don't know my heart. We were married all these years, but she clearly don't know me. Kendon said, why don't we set up a play date with the kids? With your kids? Isn't Xavier going to isn't he going to college? I don't think you need to set up a play date with that nigga. That's your child. Call him and say, hey, I want to spend some time with you, child, my kid, my son, my youth. Okay, like, just call. But then Marquez is like, and we can eventually take a trip together. Be so fucking for real, Marquez. A trip? We then get over to Nell and Fletcher. So Nell said that when she saw Lance, he looked like he is struggling with the baby. Said that, she wants to know if she needs to assist with some things with him. Apparently, Chris and Lance both recently had kids. They glossed right on over Chris Jr. Maybe they just found out, but I was like, okay, let's just talk about Lance's business, I guess. So Fletcher then tells her, look, Martell is getting ready to stop over. Apparently, the Fletchers ran into Martell and Ariane at the Polo Classic in Atlanta a couple of months ago. Nell is upset that a picture of her and Ariane went viral. So Nell felt compelled to go live. Was she live or made a story on Instagram? She said with her natural hair and her freckles, you looked perfectly fine, Nell. Truth be told, your natural hair looks way better than that shit you be wearing, but whatever. So she wanted to clear her name, probably because she was scared that if Melody sees that picture, that people the millimeters or whatever gonna drag her. So Nell was like, I just met Ariane that day. I don't know her. Martell is saying that he would never set up for a picture to be taken like that, but he kept clearing his voice and then said, matter of fact, I deserve an apology. You have to laugh at Martell because like this nigga is crazy. So Nelson said, I'm gonna ask you one more time. Did you set up to take the picture? And in the picture, it's Nell and Ariane. They're not even like embracing. They just look like they're talking and smiling and laughing. Okay. Martell said he did not. So Fletcher brings up Tisha's podcast that she did with Carlos, where she said a lot of disparaging things. And Martell said that she is smart and dumb all at the same time. We all been saying that. I mean, Lord, we all been saying that. So Martell then said, well, I think this is the one thing I came over here to ask. Does Lance have a baby on Destiny? And they was like, ask Lance, because, they didn't want Destiny as their daughter-in-law anyway. So Ken and Trisha, they're in the car driving, and we find out that they just spent $10,000. They're gonna open up their own gym, which cool. Y'all work out all the time. That's what y'all should do. So Ken wants Trish to work on being more confident in him, and that knowing that when he says he has her back, he does. He lets her know that he met with Marquez and said that they are in a better space and they want to move forward. Trisha said, well, there must be a modem. I said, maybe you meant motive. That's cool. I got you. But she doesn't trust what Marquez is doing. She doesn't trust how he's moving. Ken said you have to give somebody a chance to change. Trisha thinks that Marquez is moving with a modem. That's what she said. A modem. So Trisha then said that Marquez claims that he wants to be more in the kids' lives, but he has not seen the kids. Ken wants Marquez in their family dynamic. Trisha was like, I mean, he can come get the kids. He ain't got to be around them. So we pan over to the last scene, and I don't know what Trisha's little friend Sharon thought, but this is not it. Like, I'm sorry, but Sharon, you made a fool out of yourself. Because it's given that you just want a little bit of camera time, so I'm gonna give you the attention that you wanted so desperately. So Trisha's at home with her friend Sharon. Sharon has known her for, I think she said, roughly 4 years from the gym. Trisha said that, life, work, and trying not to get irritated is occupying all of her time. Trisha said that she's trying to figure out this new friendship between Ken and Marquez. She said that everything is more peaceful when Marquez is out of the picture. Is it that it's more peaceful, or is it that now you have to get divorced from this nigga? As long as Marquez is away and you can't reach him and you can't touch him and he's not talking, then you can claim that, oh, I'm still married and he's the reason we can't get married, Ken, because he's holding up the divorce. Now that Marquez is around and laughing and talking and showing his ass while doing it, now, the divorce has to be more real, which in turn means that this impending marriage has to be more real with Ken. Talking about some people don't see the chaos until she is about to pop off. Let's be very, very clear, Trisha. You are a huge part of the chaos as well. It's not all Marquez. It's not all Marquez, because we saw a lot of the times last season when you and Marquez would get into some type of verbal spat. A lot of it became because you was over there doing a lot of this too. So let's not make it seem as if Marquez is just out here causing a lot of shit going on in your life, because Xavier is 18. So Marquez only has to really interact with you when it's about the daughter. And I something tells me she's old enough to have a phone to communicate with her father. So next thing we know, Marquez walks his ass in her house. I said, I know you fucking lying. Marquez walks into Trisha's house. And I'm like, what? So now Trisha's in her confessional talking about he just walking up in my house. Don't tell us, girl, tell him. Don't tell us, Trisha, because ain't nobody walking in my house that wasn't invited and don't have a fucking key. You need to be telling him. We know what happens at our houses, okay? So Marquez walks in. Sharon was like, I mean, since you here, I'm Sharon. I was with Marquez. You got energy like you know me. You got energy like you know me. Have we met before? Sharon was super rude. No, I told you I don't know you. I introduced myself. Sharon, I don't know what you thought you were going to get out of this scene, but no, ma'am. Absolutely. You were rude as fuck for no reason. So Marquez was like, I mean, but you coming at me like you know me. Sharon is like, you coming up in here like you got an issue. He said, I'm coming up in here like I'm dropping off my daughter, which I just did. So now, um, Trisha is like, how'd you get her? How'd you get her? Because now this is going against the narrative that you want to spin that he hasn't seen his kids. Because you sitting up here telling Sharon how he ain't seen the kids at all. Meanwhile, he's out there with his kids now. So now Trisha's like, how'd you know? Did Xavier tell you? It doesn't matter. Clearly, somebody told him to come get the daughter. So Marquez is like, what do you mean I've been seeing the kids? Now, do I think that Marquez has been seeing them kids? I do not. I think that Marquez did just see them kids after the conversation with Ken. Okay. So, but the thing is, the way that Marquez is staying super calm and Trisha's getting more hot and bothered makes Trisha look like she's the liar and she's the more guilty person. That's how it comes across. So Xavier is like, Dad, just go outside. And Marquez is like, I'm here to spend time with my kids. You know, we getting ready to go eat. We getting ready to go eat. So Sharon is like, well, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to. He was like, you just said that you had questions for me. Sharon is like, you asked about Sharon. Sharon. No, no. I cannot believe he walked in her house. Like, did we not see the daughter come in first? I mean, like, because it looked like Marquez just got out the car and walked. Let me know what y'all thought about this season premiere. I thought it was decent. It was cool. I do not think that Nell and Fletcher are necessary on the show. I've said this last season. I don't think they fit. They give off an older couple vibe. They want to mentor everybody. I just don't like them in the capacity of this show. I think that they would be better suited with their own show with all them kids they got and grandkids and that type of family dynamic. And I for damn sure just don't want Trisha and Ken on the show because I think she weird AF. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode. If you have not already, subscribed to the channel, thumbs up the video, and leave your comments down below. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.